A search for treasure. Archbishop Samuel, head of St. Mark's Monastery in Jerusalem, bent over the manuscript spread on his desk. There was a knock on his door. "Enter," he said, without looking up from his work. "There are two gentlemen here to see you." The monk stood with clasped hands by the door. "I told them you were occupied, but they insisted they must show you what they have brought. They are merchants, Iskander and Isaiah by name." "Bring them in." Archbishop Samuel smiled. "One never knows what an interruption might bring." The two Jewish merchants entered the room. "3 Bedouin lads have brought us some old scrolls. We have brought one to you because we knew of no one who might be more interested in Syriac literature than you. Of course, you were kind to bring them here." When Archbishop Samuel saw the scroll, black with age and crumbling with mold, he was excited. He laid it down carefully, lest he tear it. Then he unrolled a portion of the scroll. "This is not Syriac, Mr. Iskander. It is in ancient Hebrew." The archbishop tore off a small fragment from the end of the scroll. Both merchants sprang forward. "What are you doing?" cried Isaiah. "Don't be alarmed, my friends. I'm only testing the material to find what this manuscript is made of. I promise you, I will use only this small fragment. This test will give us a clue as to the age and the value of this scroll." Samuel struck a match and burned the fragment that he held in his fingers. A small circle of smoke rose to the ceiling. A foul odor filled the room. "This scroll is made of leather. I can tell by the odor. I will buy all the scrolls the Bedouin lads have. Bring the scrolls to me at once. Can you leave this one with me?" "No," Iskander replied quickly. "I promised the boys I would bring it back to Bethlehem. Then they will bring them to you themselves." Days passed, and Archbishop Samuel could not keep his mind from the Hebrew scroll. Was it truly an ancient manuscript, or was it a forgery? A recent scroll treated to appear very old. As the days passed, the archbishop regretted that he had not gone with the men. He talked with Iskander in Bethlehem, but the merchant did not know the names of the boys or where they lived. He did not know how to find them again. One day the archbishop sat at lunch with several monks who served in the monastery. He turned to one who had charge of the gate that day. "Any visitors this morning, Joseph?" he asked. "A few beggars, sir," replied the monk, more interested in food than in conversation. "Is that all?" asked the archbishop. "There were 3 rough-looking Bedouins and a merchant who called himself Isaiah. They were carrying some very dirty scrolls wrapped in what appeared to be black cloth. I chanced to see the writing on one of the scrolls. It wasn't Syriac, so I wasn't interested." "You sent them away?" gasped the startled archbishop, rising from his bench. "Why, yes," replied the monk. "I received no word from you that they were coming. And besides, you have told me how you loathe book salesmen unless they are selling Syriac literature." "Which way did they go?" inquired the archbishop, leaning across the table. "As they were leaving, they said something about going to the marketplace to sell their scrolls. This Mr. Isaiah tried to persuade them otherwise. One of the boys seemed stubborn and said he was going to sell his share in Bethlehem. I didn't get any more of the I didn't get any more of their conversation." Archbishop Samuel paced the floor nervously in deep thought. Suddenly he left the dining room and telephoned the merchant Iskander, who had promised him the scrolls. "That is all I know," the archbishop told the merchant. "They were here about 8 o'clock this morning. You must find those boys. I believe those scrolls are of great value. I must have them." "You do not need to be upset, Archbishop. The scrolls will soon be in your hands." "How can you be so sure?" asked the surprised Samuel. "Just before you called, my merchant friend, Mr. Isaiah, telephoned me from Jerusalem. He told me of the unfortunate event at your gate this morning." Yes, I know my gatekeeper was rude. And incidentally, you might be interested to know that Mr. Isaiah persuaded the boys to refuse an attractive price for the scrolls. A Jewish merchant at the marketplace in Jerusalem wished to have the scrolls. But where are the scrolls? Insisted Archbishop, not satisfied with Iskander's explanation. They will be in my shop before nightfall. Mr. Isaiah is bringing the boys from Jerusalem. Good, very good, exclaimed the Archbishop. It is not all good, said Iskander. One of the three lads, Ishmael by name, has disappeared and taken his share of the scrolls with him. These I cannot promise you. This is sad news. What a fool I've been, said the Archbishop. I should have attended to the matter more carefully. I shall be waiting to hear from you. Before you leave, tell me, do you really believe these scrolls are of value? Asked the merchant. If I tell you, my friend, do not take advantage of me. We have already settled on a price for them. I shall not change the price, but what do you think of them? The merchant asked. There isn't a day that passes, but I wonder about them. If they are as old as they seem to be, their discovery would be sensational. But if they are a copy of the Holy Scriptures, it will be nothing short of a miracle. But I shall not know until we read them. Now my concern is to have these scrolls safely in my library, the Archbishop said.